Hello everyone, I am Brianna and welcome to my channel. Now we have all been seeing other people posting about their 2024 planner lineups, what planner they're going to use for 2024. There is kind of like this excitement out there about what everyone has chosen to use, but there are some people out there, including myself, that haven't completely nailed it down. I have somewhat of an idea of what I'm going to use for 2024, but I have this stack of options. It's a big stack, and you know me, I don't like to have a stack. I like to have it very like a simplified, organized plan, if you will, of all my planners. So I don't want a million planners that I have to figure out how to work in. But all of the planners that you just saw or notebooks, I have some type of an idea of how I want to use them. And so that's the whole point of this video today. I want to walk you through my ideas, my thoughts, and get your opinion on if that's a good idea, if it's too much, or maybe that isn't the planner that you have something negative about it or something really positive about it. I don't know. I kind of just want to hear your guys' thoughts on the things that I have chosen and what I am potentially going to use. So I'm going to flip you around and walk you through everything that I have and all of my ideas, and you can let me know in the comments what you think. Let's just dive right in. So these two piles in front of me, it's a mix of Planner Perfect and Hobonichi. Before I kind of go one by one, I wanted to give you a background of my planning and what I've used before. So I believe it was 2014, 2015, I really can't remember, when I first started using Erin Condren. And it was the vertical style is all I had. And then I remember, I think it was a year later or a couple years later, where they released the horizontal layout. And then I used that for a while. And then in 2016, that's when I switched over to the Erin Condren teacher planner because I was planning my homeschool. And I completely eliminated a personal planner. I just used the teacher planner. I did our personal planning on the monthly spread. And then on the lesson plan pages, I would put all of their lessons and then the things that we had to do that specific day. So it wasn't even like I didn't put laundry or anything like that on those pages. Before Erin Condren, I used those ring planners that you would get at like Office Depot or Office Max, and those were great. I think I still have one of them, actually. It's kind of fun to look back on. So that was the extent of my planning. And then I was on a search for a traveler's notebook style planner because I saw something online and I was like, oh, that looks really fun, like to have everything in a traveler's notebook. But it was smaller, what I was looking at. So then that's how I stumbled upon Planner Perfect. And I decided I was going to do the wide size. My first leather was Cora, and I had no idea what to do. It was just this blank notebook. I didn't know what to put in it, how to organize it, or, because I came from the planners that already had everything laid out for you. It had the lines, it had everything. All you had to do was fill in the things that you needed to plan or remember. And so I remember kind of struggling at first with Planner Perfect. I do like it now. I like the blank page because you can get more creative with it. But back then I was like, uh-oh. And back then, I mean like 3 years ago or something like that. And I think I started in like October, and I got my book like mid-October. So I was back planning, and it was kind of a mess. I should get that planner out and look at it and see what it looks like compared to what I do now. But so I finally learned my way, and Had an example from someone that I probably copied of how they laid out their page, and I made it work. And maybe it was even Jenny that I tried to replicate. And then my love for Planner Perfect just grew and grew and grew. I was just using Planner Perfect stickers and washi, and then I think Tara, homeschool with me, shared about Cocoa Daisy. And so then I was like, all right, well, maybe I should try Cocoa Daisy. I ordered a box. I fell in love with it. And I mean, I think that was 2 years ago. I think it's been a while. And so after a couple of years of those things, I was getting sort of burnt out. So the beginning of this year, I started the year out with a Planner Perfect A5. And I thought, okay, maybe this size is what the problem is, you know? And I was like, no, I think I'm just burnt out of Planner Perfect, or just the way I'm doing it. So I found Hobonichi and I ordered a Hobonichi, and it was a little clunky. It was difficult for me because I was still trying to use like Planner Perfect washi and stickers and Cocoa Daisy stickers and accessories and all the things in there. But you guys know that Hobonichi paper is like thin and it's bumpy when you write on it if you have a thick sticker. And I was just kind of getting frustrated. So I think it was like April or May. I was like, okay, I have to do something. I need to get back into Planner Perfect. So I couldn't get in that month because it wasn't going to get delivered in time. So my first month was June that I started back. But for May, I used Erin Condren. They called it a focused planner. I don't think you can get it anymore. Kind of used that for a little bit. I don't know. This year's been kind of wonky. So now the decisions for 2024 come along, and I'm like, I really miss the Hobonichi paper. And the reason why I miss it is because in previous videos, you've seen me set up or show you like the first page or something of a journal from Planner Perfect, and how like, okay, I'm going to do journaling like this. Well, it never really lasted. So I was like, okay, I have this extra Hobonichi July through December. Let me just use that and journal in it, or like memory keep in it, and see how I like it. And I've been liking it a lot. So that's why I got on this whole like Hobonichi kick again, because when you don't use a lot of stickers and things that are bumpy, it's really enjoyable to write in the Hobonichi and on that paper. So now what I want to kind of talk through, I added a few things to my lineup of what I want to do. Now, this first one, let me show you. This is the Hobonichi 5-year journal. And all it is just a little section that you can write a memory for that day. And then it has a section on the other side where you could add pictures, or you could extend that memory if there wasn't enough room here. I don't know. I have always wanted to accomplish and finish a 5-year book. I started when I think my firstborn was born, but I didn't keep up with it. It was small. I felt like it was too small, actually. The paper just wasn't great. So I'm going to give this another shot. So this one is something that I'm going to for sure use. I'm going to keep this by my bedside, and just every night I'm going to take out my pen and then write a highlight of that day, or something that a child said, or just anything I want to remember. So that is the plan with this. And this cover is from Hobonichi as well. I purchased this one off of Jet Pens. So I wanted to get that one out of the way. because that is like a for sure. The other things are more of like, I don't know what to do. So with Planner Perfect, so I want to stay in a size wide. My thoughts though, and here's what I'm thinking, because it's a little bit too much right now. And I don't know if that's because I'm putting too much pressure on it, or if I am doing my daily page, I'm not doing it like that would best serve my day or what. So here is my thought. I'm like, okay, do I stick with the subscription box, which is the monthly plan book, the journal, the stickers, the washi, and the tip-ins? Or do I do like the journal sub box with the accessories and get that? So my thought was, and I pulled this out of my stash, what if and I'm thinking, okay, do I need to do like a 6-month agenda? So with the 6 month, you get the monthly view for 6 months, but in between each month, you get I think it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get 5 weekly pages. And what I've found that in my planner right now, I love utilizing my weekly pages over my daily pages. My daily pages are seeming to be sort of like a chore now, and I don't want that for planning. But I'm not sure if it feels like a chore because I'm not setting them up properly for myself. Maybe I need to rethink a different like style on those pages. I don't know. I just have some thinking to do. So if you have successfully used a 6-month planner or an agenda, I think that's what it's called, as your main like plan book, I would love to hear how it went or how it's going, or if you like it, if you would do it again, because that's definitely an option. And my thought with the journal was to keep the journal in there in case I needed a place to write out a to-do list or things that are specific to that day I need to get done, and I can date it. So it could be kind of like, you know how Jenny does her spiral notebook, to just kind of like get everything out and then place it in the day that it would work. So the journal could act as that for me. But also in the same breath, I could keep what I'm doing now, and instead of having the daily pages be specific to a day, those pages in between the weeks could be those pages where I just kind of like dump everything out of my brain and like, okay, this is all that has to get done this week, blah, 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 and then go to the weekly page and put in what I can accomplish on certain days. So that is what I'm thinking about Planner Perfect. So I definitely don't want to give up on Planner Perfect because it does bring me joy. But you guys do know that I have mentioned before that I'm going to stop the Cocoa Daisy subscription for a while. I saw the release of December. A lot of the items that are in those kits are going to be used in January by me because the penguins and the snow and all of that are just very January for me. I also got the Christmas kit, so I'm going to have enough items to work with for December to where I could save a lot of that for January. Okay, let's have the Hobonichi talk because this is the one that I need to wrap my brain around. Can you tell that I have a theme that I love? Like, look at how beautiful these covers are. And this is like a main reason why I couldn't choose. I couldn't stay away and I needed to have options. This quickly grew, let me tell you. So I originally was gonna do the 5-year, stick with the Planner Perfect. I got the Hobonichi cousin. This is gonna be like my journal. And then I had the weeks and that was it. And then the stack grew. I did another order and this is the other stuff that I ordered. So here is what I'm thinking. These two are, so this is the HON And it is set up just like this cousin, but it is a hard cover. I'm drawn to this. I want to use this one, but I've seen how thick the cousins can get, and I'm thinking, can it get that thick? Can this one hold all of the things that I want to put in it? Because my thought is I'm going to have the monthly spread. My weekly, I think I'm going to just like write scripture for the day, like a scripture memory plan. And then for the dailies, it's going to be like the memory keeping, throw a picture in kind of a thing. So I can see this getting really big. I haven't had one like this. I had is it the Avec that has the 2 separate books? That's the one that I got last year. So I haven't seen the potential in person of how big this gets. So thoughts, I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. Could this hardcover survive the whole year with it getting thicker and thicker? Now, if I chose this one, I couldn't use this cover because I wouldn't want to cover this up, and I don't think you can even fit this in a cover. Okay, so those two I have to choose between. My next thing, or the reason why I bought a week's, I was going to use this as like a prayer journal. I was going to have it to where like each day I could put a focused prayer, but then there's like this section here that I can write out more specific prayers for the week. I don't think that's going to work for me now though. So I'm kind of thinking, do I just pop this in my wallet and not use the Planner Perfect personal size planner? So I need to think about that. Okay, so these two here are just blank journals, like notebooks. And I couldn't pass them up because they were just so cute. I don't know how I'm gonna use this one. I might not use this one. I might just have it for the future, but I knew that I wanted to have that design. So my original plan, you just heard for the weeks, was to do a prayer journal. Well, a friend of mine was talking about how she wanted to create like a prayer binder and like tab it and all that thing, like alphabetical order for certain people and all of that. So then that had my wheels turning. So I was like, hey, what can I do? And so originally this notebook was going to be a journal for me to just like get all of my thoughts out of my head and put them on paper, because I'm not going to want to do that in my my cousin, or if I choose this one, I don't want to do that because that's going to be like the memories, the pictures, the good times, the highlights of our life. But you know, sometimes when you need to get thoughts out of your brain, you're like, well, maybe that shouldn't be shared with other people. So I am not going to do that in this one. I had the thought to, okay, I'm like bouncing everywhere right now. I purchased this A6 size, and I am going to use this one for my personal journal, like with my thoughts, my feelings, how I'm feeling. So I get the monthly spreads in the beginning, and then it's just the dailies. So I don't have to worry about any weekly spread. And you guys, I wish if Hobonichi, and maybe there is such a thing, but I can't find it, if Hobonichi had either an A5 size with just the months and just the days laid out, I would totally use it. I know there's the day free and I can easily date that myself, but it's not enough to get me through the whole year. So I just love this setup, and I'm going to try it out, but this is going to be just enough space to where I could just write some thoughts out and have this be like my personal little, it's almost like a pocket size, right? Journal that I could just speak freely in, if that makes sense, because I'm not going to want to speak freely in my memory keeper planner. Okay, so back to this one. Thinking that I'm going to turn this notebook into the prayer journal, where I want to just get better at writing out my prayers, and then have a spot for specific people and like their prayer requests, and then like a spot for answered prayers, and just keep this as a prayer journal. So I don't know what to do. As I'm talking through all of this, I'm like, I have a way to use all of this, but am I going to overwhelm myself? That's the question. Because I could easily get burnt out with all of these items. So I guess my main question is, what should I do for Planner Perfect? Should I keep it as is and maybe tweak the daily pages a little bit to make them work better for myself? Or should I try the 6-month agenda? I mean, that's going to be a good 6-month try. And then should I use this HON, the hardcover Hobonichi, and that would be for my memory keeping? Or should I keep it in the cousin here? I did want to point out though that I noticed there is a little bit of a difference. So instead of having the number, well, first of all, this is Japanese and this is English. That's the like main thing. But do you notice like the date, how it's bigger than in the cousin? It also has the month abbreviation and not the number. And then it has Friday, you know, like the days of the week, those are bigger. So it is a little bit different. Guys, I'm really leaning towards this, but I don't know what is going to, if it's going to work for all of the things I want to add in it. Like if the binding will hold up. So I want to hear your opinion on what you guys think. So I think that's it. I think that is all that I want to talk to you about. There is just so much here in front of me, but I feel like I have such a good use for everything, except for maybe these two. Everything else, and obviously one of these ones, I have to decide what I want to use. So potentially it could be narrowed down to something like this, which is a little bit better than all that I had, but really it was just eliminating 3 things. So I would love to hear your thoughts, your opinions. Even maybe if you're using one of these, let me know how you intend to use them. I just want to kind of open this up to be a fun planner chat where we can all get ideas and we can all help each other. All right, you guys, that is all that I have. So have a wonderful weekend. Depending on when this comes out, it might be have a good week. But we will chat soon in my next video. Bye, you guys.